Hey, everybody, thanks for joining me today. My name is Andrew Alvarez, and I'm the Latino conservative. Today's topics, we've got the Gorilla Glue girl and her lawsuit that she could be possibly filing. We've also got talks about the impeachment and how the two could kind of tie together. A New York judge has overruled Cuomo's religious gathering limits, and a federal judge from my hometown of Victoria, Texas, blocks Joe Biden's deportation freeze. Y'all be sure to listen into this. You're going to want to stick around to the end of this. You're going to want to hear each and every little bit. But first, a word from our sponsors. By now, most of you have used Cash App or at least heard of Cash App. If you haven't downloaded Cash App yet, it's totally free to download. What I use Cash App for is a few things. If my family or friends is struggling a little financially and I have a little extra to lend them, I can send them money instantly. And they can do the same thing with me. Other things I can do with this is I can manage my money through direct deposits. I get an actual account. I get a bank account, FDIC insured. I get a direct deposit account number. I get a routing number. And I also get a Visa debit card I can use anywhere Visa is accepted. Another thing I can do with Cash App that you can't do with your regular bank with this much ease. Straight from my phone, I can buy stocks. We all know the craziness that's been going on with the stock world and how people have been making tons of money here recently on stocks like GameStop, stocks like AMC theaters, different stocks like that. You can join in on that, and it's totally free. Just download the app. And if you haven't downloaded the app, go to www.thelatinoconservative.com and use that referral link there. What that referral link does is it gives me a little bird dog, a little $15 bird dog. And after you download it, you can share your link too and make $15 each time one of your friends downloads it too. Again, it's totally free. Go to www.thelatinoconservative.com and download it now for free. Okay, so here we go. First story on the agenda. By now, each and every one of y'all have seen this video.
Hey y'all, for those of y'all that know me know, my hair has been like this for about a month now. It's not by choice. No, it's not by choice. When I do my hair, I like to, finish it off with the little Got to Be glue spray. Just to keep it in place. Well, I didn't have any more Got to Be glue spray, so I used this. Gorilla Glue spray. Bad idea. Y'all, look. My hair, it don't move. You hear what I'm telling you? It don't move. I've washed my hair 15 times and it don't move. Stiff wear. Woo! My hair. So I'm going to tell y'all like this. If you ever run out of Got to Be glue spray, don't ever use this unless you want your hair to be like that.
That video is of Tessica Brown. She became an overnight viral success story on TikTok because, well, she ran out of her hair glue and decided to use Gorilla Glue. Now, I don't know about you. I don't use glue very much, but I know what Gorilla Glue is. And the fact that I find Gorilla Glue in the hardware section and not in the hair product section should probably tell you something, that it's not used for hair. It's around the same section where you find the bottled glue. You also find the 3M glue, Loctite glue, all of the other construction craft style glues, Elmer's glue even. It's in that same section. It is not where you have your hairspray, your hair gel, your mousse, your hair glue. Got to be. When I had hair, I used to use that, and it sticks, makes your hair stick the way it is. This little thing called age kind of made this stuff start going really thin, so I stopped using it. I just decided to shave my head. It looked better that way. I think I look kind of cool myself, but she went in and put hair glue, but she went in and put Gorilla Glue in her hair. Should be a sign for you whenever you find it with the super glue, right? Pero no, esta pendeja. She decided to want to put it in her hair. I personally think it was for clout. She came on a video later on saying that it wasn't for clout, but I think it was for clout. I don't think anyone can be that airheaded to put Gorilla Glue in your hair. But here's the thing with that now. What she is trying to do is sue Gorilla Glue, okay? You can't hear the crickets in my backyard, but I can hear the crickets in my backyard. That's exactly what's going on in my mind. You're going to sue Gorilla Glue because you put Gorilla Glue in your hair? I mean, I drink coffee. Everybody knows I drink coffee. In fact, it's featured a lot of times on my show, but I don't go around suing people, Starbucks or McDonald's, because my coffee's too hot. Now, I know that happened before, and the person won. I think that's a frivolous lawsuit. I think that's a pointless lawsuit. I think it's a waste of time. She posted a video later on saying that she finally got her hair cut off, her ponytail cut off. And Gorilla Glue posted this statement. We are aware of the situation, and we are very sorry to hear about the unfortunate incident that Miss Brown experienced using our spray adhesive on her hair. This is a unique situation because this product is not indicated for use in or on hair, as it is considered permanent. Our spray adhesive states on the warning label, quote, do not swallow, do not get in eyes, on skin, or on clothing, end quote. It is used for craft, home, auto, or office projects to mount things to surfaces such as paper, cardboard, wood, laminate, and fabric. We are glad to see in her recent video that Miss Brown has received medical treatment from her local medical facility and wish her the best. So now, Tessica Brown is seeking counsel assistance. What that tells me is she's getting ready to sue. And there's an article out on lawandcrime.com. And the specifics on there are saying, does Tessica Brown have a real legitimate lawsuit? Tessica Brown is stating that the package or the label did not specifically say hair. It said just about every other body part, but not hair. Now, I guess, I'm no law person yet. However, it doesn't take a genius to know. If it says do not get it on your skin, that means do not get it on your hair too, right? After all, you have hair on your skin. And technically, isn't hair just the same thing as skin? But that's what she's claiming. Since the package didn't say specifically do not get it on your hair, she's going to sue them. That case should be thrown out. Any judge that hears that case and sees it to trial should be disbarred if they are a legal counsel. They should be not elected or unelected or however you want to do it, not reelected if it's an elected judge. They need to go. Business in the world being a judge if they're going to hear that case. So, how does that tie into the impeachment trial? Simple. If you don't like it, sue it. That's exactly what an impeachment trial is. It's a lawsuit. And today we live in a culture of if we don't like it, we're going to either cancel it or we are going to sue you. Simple as that. And that's exactly what happened. When Donald Trump was impeached for the second time, the articles of impeachment just went straight through. There was no hearing in Congress. There's no presentation of evidence in Congress. There's no deliberation, no debate, nothing that happened in Congress. Just a vote. And we all know if a vote's going to happen in Congress against a Republican, it's going to win because there's more Democrats in Congress than there are Republicans, and Democrats are afraid to stand up for themselves. So today, Senate heard opening statements from both sides. Now, I got to listen to a recording of those, and I think the Republican side of the opening statements was kind of weak. I mean, I'm a sales guy. I think I could have made a better opening statement than that. But either way, the Senate voted to go ahead and to let the impeachment trial commence. They voted and said that it was constitutional to allow a former president to be impeached for saying something like, we've got to fight back. Because that's what they're quoting. That is exactly what they are quoting. That he incited violence because he said, we got to fight. Take a look at this screenshot. Former President Barack Obama came on record multiple times. And he gave a famous speech, we've got to fight. This was back in 2007. He incited violence. He used basically the same exact words that Donald Trump used. So let's impeach him, right? That's what we're supposed to do. If a president does violent acts, We're supposed to impeach him. And not just him. What about, okay, let's go a little bit further. Since we're talking about unity, Joe Biden likes to talk about unity a lot. We're going to unify everybody. The father of the unification of our country, Abraham Lincoln, he fought to unify the North and the South. He had slaves. Did you know that? Since he outlawed slaves and slaves became illegal, and, that's just nothing that should have been done anyway. It's a horrible act, but he had slaves. Should we impeach him? I mean, that's the same logic, right? What about all of the politicians right now that are in office that have used the words, we've got to fight back. We've got to fight. Kamala Harris, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, just to name a few of them. And they all seem to be on the left side, right? Except one Republican guy says it and y'all don't like him, so he's wrong, right? Go figure. But like I said, we live in the cancel culture and the sue culture. If you don't like it, sue it. If you don't like it, cancel it. Deplatform them. I wonder what Donald Trump's going to do now. There's talk about him possibly starting his own even social media network. I really wouldn't be surprised if he were to invest in Parler. That's just a theory of mine. They happen every now and then, but I think he might invest in Parler. I don't think he would start one up. I don't think he has that much energy. But he's got money. I do know this. So why not Parler? It's already built. It's there. It just needs a database. The one that Amazon took away. It's a whole different podcast, whole different episode. We'll get into that later. Speaking of, one thing I didn't mention earlier. I've got a website. www.thelatinoconservative.com. I've been posting there kind of regularly. I'm a one-man operation, so, it is what it is. But Google has a service called AdSense. Basically what it is, it allows you to place ads on your website, different ads from different companies. And I've got it on a couple websites. Well, actually, I've got it on one website right now because my other websites I took down. I don't need them anymore. But one website that I've had, I don't maintain it. It was a project that I leaked out an email address. It's a blog email address. And I wanted to see how many spiders would crawl it. And Spider basically is just a program that spammers use to search the web for email addresses that are typed online. So I posted that email address online to this blog spot. And anytime somebody emails that email address, it gets posted as a blog post. I've got some random stuff on there. I don't even check it. But that website, that blog, is allowed to be monetized with Google AdSense. TheLatinoConservative.com, where I'm putting actual intelligent content. I put these videos on there. I've written a couple articles. I'm even looking for help as an intern writer, to help me out with some of this stuff. Because like I said, this is a one-man operation. But Google reviewed my site and said my content was dangerous. I wonder who made that call. How is my content dangerous? In fact, I try to keep it, yes, opinionated, but I specifically refrain from anything that could be construed as dangerous. But my content is dangerous. Take a drink of coffee on that one. And I bring that up because, like I said, about 3 times already, I'm a one-man operation. I have operating costs on this. And, I don't mind. It's very affordable for me. I would enjoy helping out, getting a little help every now and then. The best way you can support this channel, though, 100%, the best way you can support this channel is by hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, sharing this, and signing up for alerts so you know each and every time that I come up with new information, new content. That's how you do it on YouTube. You can do the same thing on Rumble. If you're listening to this on Rumble, if you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts, there's also a link down below, not included in the video description as well, where you can become a monthly subscriber just to help support with the funds that I need to keep the website going, keep the equipment operational, stuff like that. Nothing big. You can do it for as little as 99 cents a month. Cancel it at any time. Real easy to do through Apple Pay or through Google Pay, whichever you prefer. Real simple to do. Just go click the link and help me out. Help a brother out, So next on the agenda, these next two are more local, but one's local for New York. There is a judge in New York that overruled Cuomo's religious gathering restrictions. New York State limits religious gatherings in areas with high rates of COVID-19 infections were blocked by a federal judge in Brooklyn after the U.S. Supreme Court recently sided with churches and synagogues challenging such measures. That's a great thing. You know, the Bible says that there's going to be Christian persecution in the end days, and I see this as being part of that. All of these blockades that we've had from freedom of religion, no matter if you're Christian or Jewish or Muslim, our religious freedoms are one of the inalienable rights that we have. It's one of the reasons why we started this country. Governors Cuomo and Governor Newsom in California, they both did the same thing. And I see this trend happening that happened in New York, where judges are going to start blocking those orders to restrict religious gatherings. I mean, after all, you can go to a bar, you can go to restaurants sometimes, you can go to a strip club, you can go to a lot of other places that are less wholesome than a church, and you're restricted from going to church. In times like right now, when you have people that are quarantined, that stay at home, that have lost their jobs because of the pandemic, that have to do school at home, religion is the only thing they have left a lot of times. I'm glad that this judge blocked that. I think that's vital in opening up our country. And yes, I do believe our country needs to be opened up. Australia's open. They've got COVID under control is what they say. Go figure. Next on the agenda. This comes from here, Texas, my hometown of Victoria, Texas. That's right. Even though I live in a little small town outside of Houston, I'm still Victoria through and through. Federal judge in Texas blocks Biden's deportation freeze. The Biden administration's plan to freeze the deportation for 100 days was temporarily blocked again, but this time by a judge in Texas over a lawsuit arguing the federal government can't make immigration enforcement changes without first consulting the state. This is from District Judge Drew Tipton in Victoria, Texas on Thursday. So a little bit about Victoria, Texas. Not sure if y'all remember this. You probably don't, but I do because I was there. It's been a while, 15 years maybe. There was an 18-wheeler loaded with illegal immigrants in the back. They died. A lot of them died. It was stopped right outside of Victoria, Texas. Now, one thing about Victoria, they call it the crossroads. They call it the crossroads because if you're here, Victoria's right here, Houston's right here, Corpus Christi's right here, Austin, and San Antonio. It's like they all got to go through Victoria because Victoria's equal distance from all of those. Now, I was born and raised in Victoria, Texas, moved to Houston, and when I went back, one of the biggest things in the car business is that it was hard for me to do because Victoria is such a crossroads, is preventing people from going to those other cities because they're bigger cities. Preventing people from going to those cities and buying vehicles because they would take a trip, and they'd pick either one. One day it'd be Corpus, next day it'd be Houston because it was the same distance or just about the same distance. So this truck was traveling and there was a lot of immigrants that perished on that trip. There are a lot of illegal immigrants there right now. I know some. I've met many there. I've met many that use Victoria as a crossroads to go to other places. Heck, one bought a truck from my dad, God rest his soul, and drove it all the way up to Washington State to go pick apples. Then came back down to Victoria and bought another truck. Hard workers. But that's kind of why illegal immigration is so important to Victoria, Texas. Now, granted, I know that there's going to be a lot of people that hate on me, and there always is because I am against illegal immigration. Even though I've helped, and I say helped, I didn't know what I was doing. I was like 8 or 9 years old. I was used as a decoy on a trip to Mexico one time, and I didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing. Just, it happened. I didn't realize till later on. But stuff like that, getting kids involved. How many kids in Victoria have done that and don't know? How many adults in Victoria have done that and don't know? How many people have gone through Victoria or were going to Victoria to go on their way to a better place and didn't make it because the land that they had to go through is just horrible? Outside of Victoria, there's rattlesnakes, There's copperheads, all sorts of crazy things. People don't see them, but coyotes out there. Not the coyotes like the truck driver coyotes, like the animal coyotes that can bite off a limb. Not bite it off, but you get the point. These aren't no wily coyotes. But what's worse out there are the mesquite trees. You ever get caught up in one of those? If you have, you know what I mean. And I said this when I was on Fox and Friends first about illegal immigration. Oftentimes, it's the journey that is the killer. It's not the people. It's the journey. Driving to Victoria from the border, depending on which part of the border you go through, it's either an 8-hour drive or a 4-hour drive. Can you imagine that walk? And yes, there are a lot of places that you can go through. You can go through San Antonio and just start there. You can go straight to Corpus, you can go straight to a lot of other cities. But really and truly, I'm not just trying to hype up Victoria because that's where I'm from. It's just because I've seen it. I've seen what goes through Victoria. There's a good reason why they want the deportation. There's some potentially, and I use that word potentially light, there are some bad people that go through Victoria. You just don't see them. They're quiet. I've seen them before. I used to know one. They're out there, guys. It's not just a policy thing. It's not just a right or left thing. I mean, this is for actual safety. What happens if we get one of these guys in one of our jails in Victoria or Beeville or Cuero or somewhere around there? We get one of those guys in our jails. Then one of these lawmakers in Washington, D.C. decides to go along with the bail reform or the whatever reform that they have and let these people go, or because of due to COVID or whatever the statement, they're not going to be in there as long as they need to be. They let them go out in the streets. What's going to happen is that person is going to find the snitch, because there's always a snitch. I've known some of those too. Never was one. Can't say that I ever was. But they're going to find the snitch, and something worse is going to happen. I'm not going to say. You can figure it out. But this judge is citing, and he's quoted as saying, the irreparable harm that would accrue in Texas if an extension of the TRO is not granted, if consideration of its motion for a preliminary injunction is more substantial than any harm incurred by the defendants. Basically, what this would also do, not only take people off the street or potentially put them back on. If you are taking away the state's rights to do their own thing, basically, to enforce their own laws, the 10th Amendment, if you're taking away the state's rights, we're no longer the United States of America. We're just America, the dictatorship. For that case, let's do away with the president and a vice president. Let's do away with Congress and Senate. Let's get a king and a parliament. Right? That's what we left, though. But apparently that's what we're trying to get back to, a king and a parliament, or a dictator and a people who go, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. That's it. And if you don't do that, you're canceled or you're sued. Hey, guys, thanks again for letting me rant and rave at you. I really do appreciate that. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. If you're listening to this on podcast, either through Apple, Google, or Spotify, subscribe. Throw me some stars. If you want to drop some love, hit that link at the bottom to show some support too. I post these on YouTube, on Rumble as well. You can also watch this and follow me on my website, www.thelatinoconservative.com, where I have links to my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I am most active on my Facebook, just so you know. Again, one-man operation, doing this all by myself. I might get a Kickstart started. Who knows? But thanks again. Good night.